Hello everybody, welcome back. So in today's video, I will be sharing to you the behind the scenes of my recent client wedding. Also, apart from that, I would be sharing on how small entrepreneurs, how did they turn, specifically by the way, service entrepreneurs, how did they turn their passion, their talents into a business? So in this client wedding, this was our first wedding since the quarantine. I think if I'm right, it was 6 months ago since we had our last client wedding, and I'm just really so excited to be back in action as an events organizer. But at the same time, I was also very nervous because again, the virus is still there. So we did all the precautionary measures and we really made sure that there is social distancing and that we always sanitize our hands and then wear properly the face mask and the face shield as well. Hi, so we just finished the ceremony, so we're now on the way to the reception area, but the reception is still in the evening. With me is Justin of Empire Events. Hi, Chas. Shy. Okay, so today is still a work day for me for as coordinator, no? So, but hopefully we'll have time to ask the suppliers for today's wedding as to how did they turn their passion into a business. And I think I'll just boil that down to two questions, which should be first, what was the turning point that they decided to start a business out of their hobby or out of that thing that they are good at and the thing that they love to do? And then how was their first ever experience for perhaps a paying client or for a pro bono client? So how did they eventually start, or where did they get their first client, and so on. So with just that two major questions, since we are still working today and hopefully we can have time to insert those questions to them. Okay, so maybe I can begin answering the questions together with Jazz as to our story on how did we begin this fashion business, which is actually just part-time. So our passion here is organizing events. Justin and I have been together in college. We're not classmates, but she was my advisee before in JPA, and then eventually we became close up until she graduated and I started also I think in my first 2 years of work. Then we decided to have a business. At that time, milk tea was very booming, okay, and then of course we needed the funds to have that business. Now what we did was we applied for a loan, right, Chas?
Yeah.
And then what happened after that? Since months again,
We were declined. We weren't approved.
we weren't approved of the loan. Why? Because I think at that time we didn't have yet a good credit standing. It's still my second year of work. No, I didn't have yet a credit card. I didn't apply that time yet. And also Justin was still starting, like in the first year pa lang after graduation. So we had no capital for that milk tea business. So what we did was we did a pivot whatsoever. So it was a big turnaround, big shift. I told Justin, why don't we make a business or some kind of a hobby business that we don't really have to shell out money? So we then realized that we've been organizing events in college, so why not try out events coordination? Then we went to 7-Eleven in Escario Street. We went to 7-Eleven and then we drafted a very short business plan, and then we even drafted already the coverage of our coordination services for weddings, okay? And then I don't know, I think it's the work of destiny, no, that a week after, I have a friend, hopefully she's watching, Joanna Tanyo, asked me if I organize wedding because one of her friends, Rania, I hope she will also watch. Rania Rania Dablo. Then now she is Rania Heredia, that she's getting married. And then I honestly told her that it is still my first time to handle a wedding. Then I really gave her a very, very, very discounted price. So there, that was the history. We had that first ever client who signed. Then the rest is history.
Thank you, Ron,
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Heredia,
for trusting us.
for trusting us for the very, very first time. So, yun, that's the story of us. And we still do this just in 1 month. I think we just have 1 or 2 weddings. So, not really in full time, just really for freelance because we love doing this stuff. Okay? So, hopefully later, we'll get to ask our suppliers. We'll have time to also ask what was their story. Okay.
Hello.
We're waiting at McDo for the supplier's lunch. Chas, hindi mo nang UV ang mga gamit, Chas?
Yes.
Naka-UV light na natin.
Yeah. OC.
Oo, gina akong ganahan niya. Hans, unsa ni nga buwak, Hans?
Phalaenopsis orchids.
Spell,
Phyla, bitaw. Phyla na lang in short.
Phyla in short. Oh, very real. How to take care?
Considered as tropical kung gani siya. So, dili kay siya kinahanglan water.
Oh.
Pag malaos ang watang flower.
Malaos ang flowers within 2 to 3 months, and then magbuwak siya twice a year.
Kaya pala mahal. Twice a year. Hello, so we're now here at J Park Resort. So, hi Jazz.
Hello.
Actually, the suppliers are quite shy in sharing their stories because I'm doing ambush interviews. So hopefully they'll have their answers by then. If not, Jazz, we shared our story already, right? Yeah, so hopefully I can interview later Hans of, what's yung name ni Han? Work of Hands. Now ask Hans. Hans, how did you start turning your passion into business, work of hands? How did you start?
Like,
Nag-prepare ba gid si Hans?
say how I did how
Or how did you, what made you decide to turn your...
it started with me doing what I love. So since when I was young, I love flowers, and then I realized and saw that there's a potential of making it business, like that. And then I was thankful to Roderick Bautista. I wanted to start earlier, but no one believes in me, or no one supported me, or no one forced me until I met Roderick Bautista. So he's the one who pushed me
Yes.
to have it like a business. So when you have like business and passion together, you can I mean, you can do anything. You can
Yeah.
have magic.
Even though it's tiring, but it's fulfilling, di ba, Hans?
Yes, it
Diba?
is.
It is.
Yes.
So that's it mo to ang chika ni Hans. Thank you, Hans.
Thank you.
Hans is very ready with a UV curva. What do you call that? There, amaze balls. Work of Hans in full gear. New normal wedding. Hello, so we're almost done. You could see there, we're just waiting for the thank you message of the couple. Jazz, how was today?
Tiring,
but
but worth it.
yeah, but yeah, we actually miss the work. But again, we have to be careful and cautious at all times, since safety is still the utmost priority. So those were the humble beginnings of Empire Events. By the way, not in the video is also one of the partners, which is Ruby Aranas. It's just that she's not in the wedding because she still has a newborn and she is still breastfeeding. Of course, we don't want to expose her with a lot of people, especially at this time that we are in a pandemic. Now, we in the Empire Events, we are just really a very small events company. We just even do it part-time. But I have really learned a lot in this entrepreneurial journey, especially that we are in the service industry. So I've realized it opened my eyes into the other story of entrepreneurship. Because entrepreneurship is actually not just about money. It's not just really sales, profit. But if you shift your focus to really making the best for your clients, you try to help them. In our case, with the events industry, we help them realize their dream wedding. We make it happen. Everything else will follow. We then have referrals from bridesmaids. We have referrals from cousins. We have referrals from brothers and sisters of our previous clients. There might be hesitations. There might be things that would come in your way that you think na, hala, what if this will happen? What if this will happen? You cross the bridge when you get there. Just get started. Just look for clients who would trust you in the first step. Just be very honest to them that you are still starting. Okay? Some will trust you, some will not. And you have to accept that. And that's the reality. So if people would trust you on your very first time, make sure you make it worth it. You pour your heart into that kind of work so that your first will become second, third, until you cannot anymore count your events and your clients. I think that is very important when you are starting a business, and if you want to change your passion and then your talent into a business, don't think about the money first, but think on how your passion, your talent can help people. I hope you've learned something. If you find this video very helpful, please do share this to people that you think would need this certain push to start turning their passion or talent into a business. And also, if you want to learn more from me and this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!